Yeah, I hit up the Instagram, so
There you
we
go. Insta Mike.
Insta Mike.
Rocking a sweet tie-dye tonight too, huh? What do you got going on there, buddy?
This is my favorite Grateful Dead tie-dye from, I don't know, shit. Fuck, 20 years ago. It's got holes all over it. My wife hates it. She's tried to throw it away 3 fucking times. I'm like, nope.
He just fishes it right out of the trash each time.
I fished it out of the trash one time.
Nice. UPHIST.
I fished
Yeah, you get that? I see what you did
there. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. No, not at all. It actually wasn't. Hey, you guys want to do a podcast?
Yeah, all right, I guess.
Hey guys, we're
right?
live anyway, so I mean,
and we're going live in. Hey, it's Wicked Spursy, Mike, Steve, Dave, Mikey Blinders. How you doing, buddy?
Mikey Blinders. I'm still going to be Mikey Blinders to you, aren't I?
As long as that stash is, as long as that's curling up, brother, you are the blinder.
I'm great. I just had a nice little workout, and it was a long day at work. I had an emergent case that wasn't expected. So that took 7.5 hours.
Did you just count on your fingers?
No, yeah, because I was trying to like, okay, what time did I come into work? What time did we actually start the case? And then what time did I leave? So 7.5 hours. That was a long case. Saved a life. So that's good. Yeah.
Always good.
Yeah. So outside of that, not much really going on in my life. My daughter just started volleyball. That was a fun event. I've never been to an actual like volleyball game. I don't know the actual rules of it. I got to see my son play 2 consecutive games, Friday and Saturday, which was wonderful. His toe is finally healing up from that vicious turf toe stubbing injury that he had with the toenail bleeding underneath the skin. So he's not fully recovered from that. You can tell there were a few times where he tried to put his foot through the ball and he was like, ooh, but that's okay. We're getting ready to go outside next week, which is fun. Very nice. Especially with all the snow we're going to be getting. And he's got a tournament down in Massachusetts. So it should be a nice balmy 48 degrees and windy in Massachusetts come the tournament next week.
Very nice. Very nice.
But other than that, man, like life has been pretty good. I can't complain. I will, but I can't. I shouldn't.
Given the opportunity, you will. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
Mike, you don't know this about me, but I'm going to make a middle school volleyball connection for you. So when I first started teaching, I was a middle school teacher, and the principal's like, we have a middle school girls volleyball coaching job, and we need a coach. You willing to take it? When you're a 22-year-old kid making no money, looking to be a coach of some sort. I was like, sure, I'll coach volleyball. And I had
an extra $1,000.
Yeah, I had played volleyball. I'd played beach volleyball, but I knew jack squat about coaching volleyball. So I literally went to this place called Barnes and Noble, which used to exist. It still does in some places. And I bought a coaching volleyball for dummies book, no lie, like the actual For Dummies version. And then I realized I knew nothing about coaching girls, and I wasn't prepared for the fact that it's a little bit of a different ball game, no pun intended, right? Like it's the same sports, but the approach you might take with a bunch of guys is slightly varied with a bunch of girls. But it was an absolute blast. I did that for 3 years, had an incredible time. They were just hardworking girls who just hustled and wanted to learn and get better. It was a lot of fun. So you got that to look forward to. A lot of fun.
Right. I mean, I found it pretty interesting. My daughter did before COVID, she had picked up cheerleading straight off. Like first day they made her a flyer because she was little, right? 5th grader, just little. And then COVID happened and she just lost interest in it. And we're trying to get her to, branch out and do some other things. And of course she's stuck with her cross country. She's good at that. She's got long legs. She got a good stride so she can run. But we wanted her to get into other things. And she was like, I want to try volleyball. And that's a big thing now in the high school sports. And I think maybe she went to visit a high school and she saw, they have volleyball. So she tried it out. And my God, if she isn't actually pretty good at it.
This is your daughter? This is who we're talking about?
Yeah.
Interesting, man.
She's an artsy, creative little girl. And
your wife must be an athlete, man. That's impressive.
Shit. My wife was first team all state athlete,
Nice.
in like 3 different sports, So
I was messing with you, but you took me out there. So good job.
I did. I had to.
Yeah.
I have to give Amy her props when it's deserved. Even when it's not deserved.
There you go. There it is.
Wise man. Stevie, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. Aside from wishing it was, later in the week than it is, recording this on a Monday, and I'm sitting here like shit. It ought to be Thursday at this point. I won't bore our listeners with the details of my quite intense, stressful work life, but I will share a fun anecdote that I know you guys will appreciate. So over the last couple of nights, I wake up in the morning. I'm like, man, my knees are really fucking sore. Like, what's the deal with that? And it got to the point where I was like, I gotta Google, like, is there something, like, am I sleeping wrong? Like, what's going on there? And it's like, oh no, this is just something that happens when you get old. You get a little bit of arthritis building up in certain joints. It's like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like,
or stop sleeping on your knees.
I don't sleep on my knees.
Stop trying to slide across your flooring when somebody scores a goal, right? That doesn't work either, Steve.
It's just, it's one of those things. For those of you who might be even younger than me listening to this, at some point your body's just going to say, hey, you know what? Fuck you.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
Mike, you remember a few weeks ago when Steve said he was catching up to us? He might actually be catching up to us. I think I can see it happening as we speak.
He's already a grumpy old man. So, I mean,
it's I'm pretty
halfway there now.
I'm not gonna lie. I dropped my son off at school this morning, and this kid was already being picked up. This is 8 a.m. There's hardly any time for anything to have happened. But so the story is, apparently this kid's dad dropped him off at daycare and left without saying a word. And this kid has to be like 4 or 5 years old, right at the high end of that preschool class. Smart enough and knowledgeable enough to know that if somebody says, hey, are you feeling okay? He can respond with, no, I'm sick. So that's what he did. And the school had to immediately call and get somebody to come pick him up. So when I got there to drop my son off, the kid's guardian, not the dad, was there picking him up, and they were having this conversation about, oh, well, when can he come back? And, all that stuff, because there's so many rules around, sickness in schools. And they're having this conversation. I'm getting Isaac's stuff all, squared away in his cubby and whatnot. And then she makes this comment like, oh, just so you know, his father's going to call about this. And it's like, well, what the fuck's he going to say? Like, fucking douchebag dropped his sick kid off at school to get everybody else sick? Like, absolutely no sympathy. And you could tell that the teachers in that classroom were like, oh, it's going to be one of these guys. All right, whatever, dude. Like, go ahead, bring it on.
Love to talk to dad. Let's hear what he's got to hand over to us, right?
Absolutely. But I was just glad that, the kid at least has a good head on his shoulders and was able to say, hey, I got to tap out already. Like, this is enough for me.
Or he's a budding scam artist who's already learned how to game the system and get out of things he doesn't want to be a part of, right?
Young Ferris Bueller.
The risk has been mitigated to my own kids, so whatever path that one wants to go down is fine, as long as I don't have to worry about my kid getting sick because of it.
Very nice. Mike, what do you preparing, like a meat and cheese tray there? What are you doing?
A charcuterie.
It is a delicious Macintosh apple and yeah, and some sharp cheddar cheese from Cabot.
Classic little Vermont snack there for Mike, huh?
I need a healthy snack instead of eating a giant plate of spaghetti, which I want to eat, that's upstairs. So I'm gonna have a healthy snack, which is a little protein after the workout and some nice healthy sugar.
I made this killer mushroom and leek cream sauce last night that was just out of this world. So
what Steve doesn't do?
Talk about food very often.
No, and on top of that, I know he's a cook, and I know he can cook. He never shares pictures of his food with us.
Yeah,
I'll send you a picture. I'll send you guys a
Steve,
picture.
you're kind of boggling my mind right now because I wouldn't call myself a good chef, but I can make something out of nothing. You know what I mean? Like if I've just got random things, I can pull something together. You'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good. But never in my life have I thought, yeah, I'm going to make a mushroom and leek cream soup tonight. Like that has never even crossed my mind. It sounds delicious.
It was actually a sauce that went over spinach spaghetti.
Sorry,
that my son picked
you
out.
said sauce. You did not say soup. My bad. My bad.
Spinach spaghetti.
Yeah,
Spinach
it's his
spaghetti.
favorite. He calls it the big spaghetti or the big noodles. Big noodles.
The big
noodles,
noodles.
And we get the spinach one
I
because
do
then we
too,
can at least
in fact.
pretend that he's getting
Yeah.
some vegetables too.
Reasonable call. You guys know, you know what? This conversation we're having is a lot more fun than talking about English football. I just realized that in this moment. I'd actually
And
rather
this
do
is where we transition to.
I'd
a
rather do
dad's-
this for the
Three
next
Dads
50 minutes.
podcast.
Right? I'd rather talk about
at least
spinach
half-
spaghetti.
At least half of the games that happened over the last week were positive, I guess.
Were they? Go ahead, Steve. Let's hear it. Make me feel good.
I don't know that I can. I mean, we won 3-1, right? Like that's a positive. Fraser Forster saved a penalty. That's a positive. The fact that we didn't put that game to bed and just, shut up shop, that is a little bit sketchy to me. I mean, this is not a great way to instill confidence. But credit where it's due. I mean, they needed to bounce back after probably the worst showing of, I don't know, I say every miserable, it wasn't even a loss, draw, going out of the Champions League on a whimper, that was just fucked. And it was nice to have some kind of a response to that, but man, we really got to do better about closing these games down. If that had ended 3-2, that would have been a huge disappointment. The fact that we let him back in at all is disappointing. But there were positives. Like I said, Fraser Forster, he stepped up in this game. He had a great point blank save. Even before he saved the penalty, he didn't really have much else to do, but our attacking options looked bright. Son looked like he was back on form. Richarlison looked like he was eager to give Conte the finger and do something with his start. Unfortunate not to get the goal, but he did come up with an assist at least. So pretty solid outing. Skip continues to be just one of the best prospects we have. I mean, that guy, his distribution over the weekend was just immaculate. He was spraying those balls, long balls across the field. They were just picking up their targets like perfectly each time. And he's young too. Like he's got plenty of room to still grow into it, but it's performances like that where you can understand why people like Jose Mourinho had said he is future Spurs captain. He has got everything in his toolkit to be successful at the club. And that, I think, in and of itself is probably the biggest positive to take away from the last two games. Skip just being as immense as he has been.
Mike, you got a response to Steve's more positive than I would anticipate analysis?
Well, you asked for positivity.
I did. I asked you to make me feel good. You did pretty well.
If I wanted to make you feel bad, I would have just talked about Milan the whole time.
You're like the Alistair Gold of the podcast. Like he turned on a dime. Like it was the sky is falling, Alistair, and then all of a sudden Conte's got fire in his belly, and it's going to be good. Mike, what do you think about all this?
Okay, so fun game. It was fun to watch. It really was. This team came out, and right off the bat, Richarlison, boom, and everybody on the planet, or at least 5 people, believe that I hate Richarlison.
I'm one of those people.
Who are those 5 people? Steve's one. I don't think that.
Steve and the Green Mountain Spurs.
Okay.
Mike has specifically come out and
Congrats.
said, I ... hate him.
No, what I said was that he had he didn't have, like, everybody was like praising him for being the game changer and all this. And honestly, I thought he, like, after that first goal that got called off, which, by the way, was not fucking offsides. We can talk about that after.
Yeah. Even my wife said not offsides.
No, I mean, even the way you draw that line, like, what is up with the fucking angles?
right?
Have you ever? We'll talk about that after. But I didn't think he was that amazing. Sure, Steve took the piss out of me in the chat because he was like, well, he earned the penalty. And I was like, what? The ball, Harry Kane nutmegged a dude to get the ball in his general direction, and he just ran onto it. It's not like he fought to earn that penalty. He just ran onto the ball. He happened to be the guy. And Lucas Moura could have been that guy.
Lucas Moura wouldn't have been that guy.
You never know. He
would
loves
have
to
run.
dribble. He loves to dribble and get balls where there are dudes right in front of him, or he'll find that person.
Mike, can I just interrupt? I've been hearing a little Chicago coming out in you tonight. I've heard you say he went to get that ball and move on to the guy.
Hey,
he said Lucas Moura could have done that. I'm hearing a little something come out of you. I like it.
Yeah.
Like
well, it's my newfound love for our friend Jake, but
tied for the lead in Major League home runs in spring training, at least in Arizona. For what it's worth.
if that doesn't get him the nod, as at least a utility dude.
At least.
Anywho, so I didn't think Richarlison did anything super out of the ordinary that Decky couldn't have done. I know his skill set's a bit different. He's more of a straight striker than a forward wing, but quite honestly, he was good. I'm not going to say he wasn't good, but he wasn't like overly super impressive like all those guys were praising him for. Second half, that's a whole different fucking story. That dude, you know what it was too, is like it was a pissing match between him and Conte. And whether Conte wants to say that, oh, he wasn't criticizing me, he was criticizing himself for having a shit season because of all of his injuries. That's bullshit. He was criticizing Conte. And Conte said, okay, you're going to criticize me? Go out there and prove it then. He went out there and he fucking proved it. He did. He got a fire in his belly. He was involved in in 2 of the 3 goals, right? As was our future New England Revolution wingback, Pedro Porro. He was involved in all 3 goals. So my man of the match, I would say, is probably Richarlison. Did you see when he pointed at himself like he was going to take the penalty?
No, I didn't see that.
No, so okay, he earns the penalty. He gets up. The camera in the U.S. Broadcast, the camera pans away, and then it comes back to him, and he's kind of coming up the little hill in back of the goal, and he's got the ball in his hand, and he looked right at Harry and went, "Me?
That's great.
That's cute." And Harry was like, "That's cute. Give me the fucking ball."
But I mean, to be fair, Kane from the penalty spot is just incredible. If it was a free kick, I'm Richarlison taking that ball to take a free kick from outside the box, absolutely, I'm not giving it to Kane. But I'd
let Fraser Forster take a free kick over Kane, honestly.
Yeah, right. Anybody, I'll go take the free kick over Kane
for sure.
Yeah, and that dude couldn't get back to his goal, Fraser Forster.
You're right.
he turns around. It's like a bus turning around in an alleyway.
You're so tough on Fraser Forster, Mike.
Man,
you got to lighten up on him.
I know. No, I was getting to him, but go ahead. Anyway,
he has a big head, like literally a big head. You're judging the guy's cranium size.
Well, yeah. I mean, like he would not be able to fit in this hat I'm wearing right now.
Boy, you're big.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, that kid was in the Mighty Ducks too. Anywho,
the Mighty Ducks and Mighty Ducks too.
He was in both of them.
All right. Just wondering.
Anyway, fuck were we? Pedro Porro. That dude is playing into it, and he needs games like this against. And like I said, I think I've told you guys, I think it's a false flag. This game is a false flag. It is. We are a fucking house of cards. Everybody, we can be happy about the game as it's played, but we are a house of cards. There is one team right now with 3 games in fucking hand. There's one team with 2 games in hand, and one team with 1 game in hand, and they're all on our asses. And guess what else? We get to play 2 of them. So these games that we play, Southampton, we play Nottingham Forest, we play Wolves, we should have fucking take advantage of that. All of these teams that we're playing, we need to beat. Everton, we're going to need to beat them once we come back from the break. We need to get this shit straight. Otherwise, we're going to be looking down the barrel of Jurgen Klopp's gun. Or you never know what happens with Graham Potter. Chelsea might just turn it around. But I don't think Newcastle's going to it has a staying power. They just can't score goals. But Pedro Porro, I think, he needed games like this against lower competition to get into one, learn the system, and two, get into the speed of the game and understand the speed of the game. He needs wide open play, because what he showed us, in that game against Nottingham Forest was really something else, man. Like, he showed us what he can do when he can cross the ball. He's fast. He's great on the ball. He's confident with the ball at his feet. Dude's like super press resistant. He did give 2 balls away that were a little, but again, I think it's a false flag. I think that we're still in trouble. Everybody can be happy about this, but we're still in trouble here. Fraser Forster had, I think, a pretty good game. And I know I give him a lot of shit, but he's filled the gaps pretty well. He is doing it at least as good a job as Hugo was doing, if not better.
He's not making the silly mistakes that Hugo has made.
No, he's better with ball at his feet. He's better distribution. He doesn't have
the leaping ability, right? Like the instinctive,
he doesn't necessarily need to, but like, I don't think
he's 7'3".
Well, yeah, that ball that he got to the other day,
yeah,
that was right in front of him that he tipped over. That was a pretty quick reaction for a school bus.
So judgy.
Keanu Reeves has shown us that you can't just stop a school bus, right?
Wow, how long have you been saving that one, Mike?
I don't know. I've been waiting, man.
Credit where it's due. I think Forster is just one of these guys who understands where he's at in his career, what his body is capable of doing, and knows well enough what he can and cannot get away with. So that makes him less risk averse. It means that he's not going out for some of these challenges where maybe you'd like him to try to close down the angle. But at the same time, if he is well protected and he can just marshal his back line and just kind of keep things steady, he doesn't do a bad job. We can obviously have improvement in that position, but for a backup, he's doing exactly what you would expect of them. Just don't fuck up super badly. He was probably wrong to come out for that one cross that led to the goal. But otherwise, I mean, Mike, I think you're spot on. He was tidy. He did what he needed to do. And that's all.
I, in fact, think he has been.
Yeah.
I mean, with the exception of that Leicester game, I mean, maybe we took, too much out on him for that game because the entire team was shit. But we can't keep having these type of performances on top of the very next week's garbage fucking, throwaway performance. You can't keep doing this over and over and over again. You have to string wins together. You have to string points together. Otherwise your ship is going to sink. And right now we're still taking on water. Don't take your eyes off the prize is, I guess, what I'm saying. Sonny looked good. Sonny looked really good. Harry Kane looked really good. He was dropping back. I think Sonny plays better when he has somebody like Ben Davis over there who doesn't overlap on his runs and fill space that Sonny's normally allowed to fill. And we talked about it before, where Sonny's game is driving that ball deep into the corner and bringing it back for a cross. Sonny's game is those runs, those quick runs in from behind. That's the game Sonny plays, and he showed that. I think, to me, he showed that. Yeah, it's been a shit season because he's been playing with Perisic over there, and they occupy the same spaces.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't know if this is a hot take, but as of right now, Big Daddy Davies is our best left wing back.
I don't know if that's a hot take either. I mean,
Sess has been poor. Perisic has been poor. Davies, every time he plays in that position, is serviceable, if not spectacular. He's at least not causing issues, right? Like he's doing his job. He's doing it well enough.
You know what I wish, Steve?
Did you just say he's spectacular?
No, he's not spectacular.
Oh, I thought you said if not spectacular.
But he kind of alluded to spectacularity. I don't know if that's a word or not. Steve, you know what I wish we had?
Relative to the other options.
I wish we had like high quality graphics. And we could have like this thing come in right now that was like monster truck type vibe, like hot take, and have like this red flaming thing come in, like that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, if any of our one streamers wants to
hook us up with some video support, that'd be great.
I want like one of those.
We will not
bites.
be able to pay you.
That's
See,
right.
I just want one of those sound bites that I can like. I want to hit a button on my keyboard that just says "Big Daddy Davies."
That's right. Is spectacular.
Spectacular.
Sunday. Exactly.
See him against Southampton.
See, here's the thing, though. Like, I think you're giving this is fun because it's Davies. That dude is as vanilla as it gets, man.
He's classic.
Maybe he gets like a cherry. Maybe he gets like a cherry or some sprinkles on top when he gets to play left wing back.
No syrup though. Just sprinkles, right?
No syrup. Maybe a little bit.
No, he gets the crumbled up peanuts. That's what he gets on top. That's what he is.
But you know what? If Ben Davies, Ben Davies is vanilla, Perisic and Sess this season are like those experimental flavors that some of these places do that are just fucking trash.
No, they're like the melted stuff in the bottom of the dispenser thing that just it just missed the cup and the
molds that's accumulated in the McDonald's ice cream machine.
Yeah, yuck. Mike, you know what I was thinking was like you're talking about people being all up, about this recent performance. And strangely, like I wouldn't say I was down about it. I wouldn't say I was pessimistic, but I was just kind of like, all right, cool. We should have won that game. I'm glad we did, but let's not get too far out of hand.
Yeah, that team's getting relegated.
True. Here's the analogy I've come up with for myself in the moment. And I guess I don't know if this is an American reference. But I'm thinking of like going to like a fair or like a carnival type, right? Like picture that vibe. I don't know what that looks like in other parts of the world, but when you go to one of those, there are these janky rides all over the place, right? Like
the zipper.
The type of rides that as a kid I would go on and puke like that. Those just are not my jam at all. I feel like the old dad or even the grandfather who's like, yeah, go enjoy the ride, guys. Have fun. I'm going to be here at the beer tent. And you can tell me all about your ride when you get back, but I'm just going to chill and just do my thing. I kind of feel that way about the up down roller coaster, excitement about a match like this past weekend. Just not going to do it. Not going to get too high. Not going to get too low. I'm just going to drink my drink and have a good time. I'll be here when you get back.
I still get excited. I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I stood up. When Poro put that ball in, man, wow, what a beautiful ball, right?
That's what she said.
When Poro put that ball in, Harry Kane's header, man. I stood up. So my mother-in-law came over this past week to watch the kids in their various sporting events, and she happened to be there while I was watching the game, and she didn't know what the hell was going on because I stood right up out of my chair. I was like, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And Amy was like, "Oh, this isn't even bad."
Yeah, this is not normal.
And I was like fist pumping and like a high fiving Lucas and like.
Yeah, I tend to. Beth will like. Of course, Beth is an athlete, understands sports, but we'll be watching a game, and I'm really the only one watching. She's doing something else, and as a play's developing, as like a chance is emerging, I'll just be like, just kind of that like something's about to happen. She's like, What are you getting so excited about? There was no goal. I know there was the potential for a goal. That's what I got excited about.
It's like the great ape, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, precisely.
Look, I would be remiss.
I called you an ape, yeah.
You did. I'm good with that. Call me a great ape. As long as I'm a great one. I don't want to be just an average ape. I'd rather be a great one.
I just can't finish talking about this game without mentioning I just fucking hate John Joe Shelby. I hate him. He sucks.
He's a bigger
He's-
dork in a red jersey than he was in a black and white referee's jersey.
God, he is just such like he's that one guy. He's not particularly like exceptional, but he's that one guy. Whenever we're playing against him, I just want him specifically to fail. You know, it's like him and the entire Arsenal team. Like if they just spontaneously combusted on the field, I would be fine with that. John Joe Shelby absolutely sucks. But you know what doesn't suck, Dave?
What doesn't suck, Steve?
A good beer. A good beer makes all the difference. And you know how we find out whether or not a beer is good?
There's only one way. And what is it?
We have to ask a question, a very specific question, unique only to this specific podcast.
Nobody else asked this question anywhere else in the world. There is no question like this question.
What is the question?
The question is this. Hey, Mike, what you drinking?
Oh, well,
Steve,
glad you asked that, Steve. I really love it when you ask that question.
that was a hell of a windup too for just a quick pitch there, man. Like,
Well, I
that
wanted
was-
to accomplish two things. I wanted to get us to Hey, Mike, and I also wanted to acknowledge that John Joe Shelby fucking sucks.
Well done. I mean, brilliantly crafted segue.
Steve hates people with alopecia. It's fine. It's okay.
Another brilliantly crafted segue is the one that Mike rides across the hospital campus when he goes to work.
That'd be fucking great. That would be great. So,
Mike, you want to take the bus? No, I'm good, guys. I'm good.
No, he needs one of those hoverboards.
It's like, yeah, right.
I see these kids around town here with them. I don't know how you don't just. This is how I know I'm getting old. I'm sitting here like, I don't know how they don't just fall flat on their face.
I saw
how the hell did they keep that thing up?
I saw a meme. It was about the on the Breakfast Club. You remember like the teacher who ran detention on the Breakfast Club? I forget his name. But he's just pissed
Yes.
off. He's just angry. It's like, you know, you're getting old when you can start to identify with this guy. I was like, yeah, I kind of get that. I understand. I understand what that guy's thinking.
What was that
opposed to what the kids are
ruckus? Can you describe the ruckus?
Well, I'm sorry.
Um,
We've distracted from a really important question.
Today I have Mayflower Brew. I think we've done Mayflower before.
I think we have. Yeah.
Pursuit of Sappiness, I think, is what we had.
That we have. Yes.
Yeah.
This today, I went down because I went down to the store because I didn't have anything. And I saw this and I said, boy, this looks neat. I don't like beer with fruit in it, which is weird because I'm also drinking a strawberry rhubarb goza. But
Which sounds
this,
incredible, by the way.
yeah, but it actually really is. I'll save one for you. This is called Cordially Invited. It's a robust porter with raspberry.
Even if it's a bad beer, that's a fantastic name. I really like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
No, I mean the label looks great. It looks wonderful. I hope it tastes like a cordial. I think and cordials usually made with cherries, but we'll pop that open. This is 7.5% alcohol in a porter. Ooh, that smells lovely. I like porters. I do.
Often overlooked.
Yeah, they are. They look like oil, like motor oil, but they taste like heaven. Oh, this one poured nicely, boys.
That's pretty nice. Pretty caramel head on there.
Mm-hmm. That's a caramel head. That's not a biscuit head.
Not a biscuit head. That's caramel.
It's a good distinction to have.
It's like whole wheat toast you got going on there.
Yeah, David is fucking toast.
I
In his
love
box,
toast.
in his box wine that he's still drinking.
Actually, tonight's from a bottle.
Oh, good for
Are
you.
you impressed? I
am
almost
impressed.
brought the bottle up with me to prove it to you, but I'm just telling you.
You
It's
should
true.
try the Apothic wines. They're all good.
I have.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're,
I've got one
every
in my
single one of
fridge.
them. Oh yeah, every single one of them are good. All right, here we go, kids. I don't know where we're gonna go with this. I don't want to present any kind of thought-provoking ratings from you guys. So I'm just gonna go with it, and I'm not gonna make any faces.
But yeah, right. By the description and by the look of it, I think this is going to be a good one. We get good mustache retention there for Mike. That's always good. Good sign.
All right.
This is where Mike goes, wow, that's a pretty good beer.
You can tell that that's exactly what he was going to say.
It was precisely what he was going to say.
That's a pretty goddamn good beer.
There you go.
It is. I think there's one thing with it that you can have one or two of these without like going, all right, I need something a little lighter, but oh, the fruit is so good. The raspberry, you can really taste that raspberry. It tastes like chocolate covered raspberries.
I can see
I
that.
mean, it
like
really
that.
does. It
But
really does.
not too much. Not too much fruitiness. Not too much
No,
sweetness.
the raspberry, you can still taste the raspberry right now. It's a pretty goddamn good beer. It's just, I think it's overly fruited.
There is a beer advocate review for this,
Ooh.
just so we're aware.
Well, Mike contemplates. Let's hear it.
So
Steve.
it is definitely dark. It's coffee. It is chocolate.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, it is good, man. Go ahead, Steve. Read this.
This is reviewed by Rug. Yes, Rug.
With 1G or 2?
1G.
Okay.
Rug from Massachusetts writes, "'Tis the season for raspberry stouts. Wait a minute. This is a raspberry robust porter. It's a refreshing change of pace to have the adjunct over the slightly lighter base. So I just had to grab this when I saw it. Let's get into it. Pours a very dark brown with 3 fingers of rocky tan head that
Rocky tan.
to a
I don't know. I
cap
kind of like my whole wheat toast or caramel.
and leaves
That's
a nice lacing. The nose feels very light. The raspberry is present, but there's a nice gentle roast behind it. I'm picking up on aromas of jammy raspberry, milk chocolate, light roast coffee, dark toast, toffee, light vanilla, and a touch of cherry. It remains delicate and balanced in taste. It's quite nice. On the front end of the sip, I'm tasting dark bread, milk chocolate, tart raspberry, sweet vanilla, toffee, and light roast coffee. The swallow brings notes of cocoa powder, medium roast coffee, jammy raspberry, tart cherry,
All right, Rug needs to
dark toast, light molasses, and toffee.
Eat a bag of something, Rug. That's way too much, man. Come on.
I think we need a sound for that too.
Well, yeah.
Oh my
Rug.
God. He's got
From now on, every overly dramatic review, we're gonna call it like a rug. Or
rug.
That beer got rugged.
Oh God.
So that dude has tasting notes, but he's got
all of them,
front mouth and swallow notes too.
Did he talk about
I'm
when he
assuming
pees
this
it
dude.
out, how it feels,
I'm assuming
or
this
what?
dude knows how to swallow.
How do you know it's a dude? Actually, that's a rather gender biased opinion. When you
it
say
is
Mike.
a gender biased opinion.
Cultural appropriation last week, gender biased commentary this week.
I think
Mike,
that
what's the deal?
that's a whole other segment. That's a whole other segment.
That's a whole other segment.
Here's another
Coming
sound
soon,
bite.
everybody.
Canceled.
Coming soon.
Get the big stamp on.
This is a fun one today, guys. I really appreciate this. Yeah, like this guy's a douchebag. I don't understand why people have to do this. Like, you take that much time. Like, I guess we take this much time out of our day to. I think we've gotten away from here. But there is the chocolate there. There is. I don't know where he gets cherries. I don't taste cherries. I taste raspberries. A lot of raspberries. And I do get the chocolate. I get the coffee. That it's what you get in a robust porter. I think on its own, without the cherries or raspberries, this is still a good porter. I mean, it's perfect. It really is. It's perfectly drinkable. It is so smooth, yet it's got a lot of carbonation that you get in a porter. Outside of a stout, stouts are generally smoother, less carbonation. Your porters are like big, robust, dark ales, right? This thing is fantastic. 3.9.
Oh, Dave, so close.
3.8 was my call. So close.
Yeah.
We're dialing in, Steve. We're dialing in. I'll tell you what, Mike. I mean, maybe the biggest compliment I could give you. I don't know about up your way, but we got a snowstorm coming tonight and tomorrow. We're probably gonna get a foot plus.
We're not
So it's
getting anything.
nothing, huh?
Like
So
3 inches. 3 inches.
It's gonna be a snowy, one of those types of days. I haven't had a porter in a long, long time, but you have made me want to dig into my fridge and see if I got one hiding back there because you've described what sounds very tasty.
Yeah.
What about the Rug's description about the 3 different kinds of toast and coffee?
I do have toast and I do have coffee, so I guess I'm on board with a Rug on that.
Just throw that in a blender.
I was just going to say, throw it in a blender.
Throw it in a blender
with a seltzer.
There you go.
And some
Carbonate it up a little
raspberries.
bit.
And then you got this beer.
You got this beer. But the notes were on the front of my tongue and not the back of my tongue.
The notes are all over.
True.
It's a
You put
symphony.
it in your mouth. It's on the front, the back, and the fucking back when you swallow it. What a douchebag, man. Like, I don't understand. Why do people have to do that? Why do they take the time out of their day to go and write a review like that? Like, they're going to get maybe they get some sort of personal satisfaction out of it. Fine. If it makes them feel better, good. But like, these dudes go on there and they write reviews like they're going to affect the way that this brewery makes their beer.
Maybe dudes.
No, I
Maybe
say,
dudes.
okay, dude. See, I say dude all the time.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, I see.
Everybody's dudes. Everybody's a dude.
Everybody's a dude.
All right.
Do you say it to your wife? You call your wife a dude?
Hey, dude.
If you do, you're a dumbass. So I'm going to ask you that
No.
question again. Yeah.
My son called me bro the other day. I'm not your bro.
So
My-
Isaac called me a dude a couple weeks back. He goes, "Whatever, dude."
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
my son said he pulled the dude on me, and look, I get it, but I was on him about something. He's like, dude, I'm like, you don't dude me. I'm not a dude when we're having this conversation. If we're talking about something cool, I can be your dude, but I'm your dad right now, not your dude.
Yeah, dude, not dad, not dude.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, I'll give you a song. And you know what? And this one is so good that I'm gonna give you,
Prince's Raspberry Beret.
yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Did I call it?
Yeah.
That's
what?
a first.
This is
Dude.
obvious. This is obvious.
Wicked Spursy first.
This is an obvious one, right? I mean, for me, it's an obvious one. I like this beer a lot.
Raspberry Beret is a phenomenal song. Most
It
Prince
really
songs are
is.
phenomenal songs, but yeah,
Yeah.
working
You
all
know what?
night,
You know-
5 and dime.
Oh, my favorite one is Sexy Motherfucker.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mine is Kiss. Kiss is my favorite song.
Mm.
Kiss.
Oh boy, what a fun day. Thanks, guys.
Very nice. Hey, that was Mayflower Brewing. Cordially invited. We did pretty well on the rating. Actually, I'm a Steve. This was my night, man. I almost nailed the rating, and I did predict the song. I don't know that there's anything else I can do this evening.
And the beer's
Retire
gone
high.
before the end of the segment.
And the beer's gone before the end of the segment. That's an accomplishment. So, Steve, let's go back over to you, man. My work is done here. Where you want to take us?
I mean, I guess we could look at what's coming ahead this weekend. Southampton. That should be one of those games that on paper we win, right?
So
Obviously, what I'm expecting is a painful performance that wraps up with a James Ward-Prowse free kick in like the 80-something minute to steal 3 points from us. And then
1-0 loss. Is that what you're calling?
1-0 loss off of a free kick that was conceded in a position that had absolutely no business, with our defenders fouling in that area. I want them to just do what they're supposed to do and get the win, right? But I think we've been at this long enough this season to understand what is expected of the team isn't always what the team is going to produce. I think Mike was spot on with his false flag narrative earlier. I think that is more of an anomalous situation. I would absolutely love for the team to prove me wrong, to prove us wrong, and put up a performance, get another multi-goal win, comfortable, defensively solid. But it just, to me, it feels like they're getting our hopes up, and then we're just going to crash and burn. And then it's going to be the same for, oh, well, we got to do better. We got to show up in these games. It's like, yeah, no shit. You've been saying the same thing all season and nothing has changed. I don't think anything will change. I'm preparing myself for the worst. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm expecting the worst.
Steve, I'm with you. It's kind of like I love you, but I know who you are and I know how you are, and I'm going to expect you to be who you are. Mike, what do you think?
That's something you say to like a girl you're breaking up with, or a significant other that you're breaking up with,
It's definitely you.
or one of
It's
one of your
definitely you.
brothers.
I love you. You're beautiful.
Or
but-
one of your brothers or sisters. I love you, but I know who you are.
Yeah, I think it's a brother or sister type of vibe, right? Like it's a familial love. But dude, I'm not putting up with your shit anymore. Just get your stuff together and we can be cool. That's the vibe I'm feeling.
That's the thing, because you can't really just leave your brother or sister behind.
No,
You really can't. You're kind of like not married to them, but you're connected in a way that, you know, unless there's a serial killer situation or a
just something really egregious,
or
right?
they're going to jail for something that's really, really fucking terrible. Like maybe they're a Nazi. That's another way you can
Maybe
get
they're
rid of your
Nazis.
brother. But
these are the circumstances where Mike.
these are
wouldn't
the
talk to a
circumstances
brother.
where you can get rid of your brother or sister. An ex-significant other, an ex-partner, kick him to the curb, find a new one.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what? I loved you, but I'm moving
Yeah.
over here.
No,
That, you know,
the love
that's-
is it's alive. It's ongoing.
we're-
but
we chose
you're not feeling it until you get your shit together. That's just how it goes.
right. We chose Tottenham Hotspur.
We did.
We're sticking with this fucking thing.
Some
Now,
would say Tottenham chose us, right?
That's right. And it's going to be, it's going to, you know, I have found in my life that sometimes I see my son kind of, maybe he's straying away a little bit. He sees other players he likes, right?
Yeah.
And I said, it's okay to window shop, but I got stuck into this and it's your fault. You're coming along with the ride with me for this ride. You don't have a choice. I am not going to go buy him a Leeds jersey.
No,
because there's lots of Americans.
If he wants a Leeds jersey, he can buy the Leeds jersey.
You know what he
that's how
said?
that needs to work.
He did say, he goes, Dad, I love Spurs. And I said, that's wonderful. Thank you. I do too. They make me mad very often. He said,
Yes.
he said, I sometimes have to go downstairs and play FIFA. This is a conversation in the car.
He's learning. He's learning what it takes.
And then he said, but you know what? I really want to go to a Leeds game. It looks really fun. And I said, I bet it really is fun there. I bet it's really dangerous too. Because Leeds fans are fucking crazy. All of them. But that said, I think that Southampton, what I said about the false flag and all that, I think we still beat Southampton. I think that also that Southampton crawls out of the basement. Because I think we see possibly Leeds, possibly I think Bournemouth stays out. But Southampton is a team that I think we should beat on paper and we will beat. I think that and for no other reason than the fact that we have a little bit of attitude now. You know, this isn't Liverpool beating Manchester United fucking 18-1 or whatever it was. This is Spurs finding a little bit of bravado, a little bit of the kind of a little bit of fire. You know, they're going to catch that fire and they're going to go with it for a little bit, and then we're going to get a week off and come back, and that's when the real team is going to show up. So that real team is either going to show up against Everton or they're going to fucking back down, end up with a draw or a loss. But I think we beat Southampton. I don't think it's easy, but I think if they don't want to park the bus and they let us play as wide open as Nottingham Forest did, there's nothing that James Ward-Prowse can do to stop that. Outside of get a free kick in midfield and score it. Because
other than that,
that's what that fucking guy does.
Too bad he's never done that before, right?
Boy, he hit the fucking woodwork again this week. He did.
Okay, he's very good at that.
Yeah. I don't
Just
know, why don't we
that
why don't we
whole
just go
process.
out and get him and Madison, solve all our problems.
Well, we've only been talking about that for 5 years at Spurs.
5 years.
How long?
Yeah. I mean, before
Back
you
when
know it,
Dele Alli was good friends with Madison, back in those days.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that guy,
Before you
Dele
know,
Alli?
we're going to be talking about getting Danny Ings again. But I think we beat Southampton. I don't think they were especially great defensively, and I don't think they have a lot on the attack. They've kind of been a joke, but new manager. Um, I think they crawl out of the basement, and I think they have kind of a rebirth as a club, and I think they get it figured out. So that game's gonna tell the tale. Well, the Everton game will tell the tale, but this game, I think we win. We get the 3 points and we stay in fourth place. And I would just love to see the other two, falter a little bit.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be even more fun if Manchester United faltered.
It would. Hey, we're on, and see, here's the thing. I hate to say it, we're on their tail. We're like I saw
Again. We don't
something that said-
deserve to be, and we're
No.
not really,
It is
because
the
they
most
also have a game in
undeserved-
hand.
Yeah, true. Steve, give me some closing thoughts, man. Wrap us up. Send us out of here.
Well, just to piggyback off that last comment, it'll be interesting to see what happens with United with Casemiro out for 4 games. They're not particularly challenging games necessarily, but I feel like I was reading some stat earlier that was like, Manchester United, when they don't have Casemiro, performs far worse than when he is in the team. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to, keep getting these results. They had from their perspective, an unfortunate draw to Southampton. Another reason why we shouldn't just chalk it off as an expected win. So they had that. They're without Casemiro for 4 games. I think one of those is an FA Cup game anyway. But you never know. The point is, in this league, getting so close to the end of the season, you never know what's going to happen. The teams need to show up. They need to get the results when they can. And if they don't do it, there's nobody to blame but themselves, right? Like, I don't want to hear in a few weeks anybody on the team going, oh, well, if only Liverpool lost their games in hand, or if only United collapsed, or if this, if that. The only people who are responsible for the position that we're in are the players on the field and the coach who's got one foot out the door. That's it. I've mentioned it before. I've pretty much chalked the season up. If we get top 4, great. If not, I'm looking forward to starting fresh next year with a new coach, hopefully a new philosophy, new way of play. And honestly, without really any expectations, right? Like, I think it'd be nice for us to go into a season with somebody who doesn't have this massive expectation of them already right out the gate. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm just going to take it one game at a time and see what happens this weekend at Southampton.
Fair enough. Mike, how about you? Closing thoughts?
He's getting there.
Mike,
Oh, he's muted.
but is he? I
I
can't.
don't know.
He doesn't look muted. Oh,
He's
now he's frozen.
I wasn't frozen.
The gears are turning too much.
No, I was trying to make up for the fact that I was muted the whole time. Antonio Conte is doing exactly what we expected him to do, exactly what we knew he was going to do. And he goes to teams, he gets them to the highest position he thinks he can get them to, and then when things start to falter and other teams start to figure out his system, he inevitably throws players under the bus, he throws the club under the bus, he blames everybody but Antonio Conte. And he's an ego-driven guy. I mean, a lot of professional athletes and coaches are ego-driven people, but He's the type of guy who will never admit fault. Okay. Which is why he did what he did when he came out and said that Richarlison wasn't criticizing him. He was criticizing you, Antonio.
Yeah, he was.
He was 100%.
It takes a special kind of like thinking you're above everybody else when you can be criticized and be like, oh no, he wasn't talking about me. Like that's
right,
special.
yeah.
He was talking about
Yeah.
the other Conte.
Right.
So Antonio Conte, he's, like I said, he's doing exactly what we knew he was going to do. So Spurs fans need to sit back and shut the fuck up on social media and shut the fuck up and just watch the games. Don't sit there and stew about, oh, Antonio Conte is letting us down. Oh, Antonio Conte, blah, 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 blah. We knew this was going to happen. That's like you telling your kid, hey, don't get so close to that flame. It's really fucking hot. What do? Inevitably, the kid touches the fire or touches the thing that is hot, right? And then he's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no shit. It's hot. I told you it was hot. Guess what? Every goddamn Italian and Chelsea fan told us was going to happen. They told us that inevitably he was going to flip the fuck out when things weren't going his way.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what happened? It did. So we cannot sit here as Spurs fans and constantly play the blame game. He's not coming back next year, no matter what position we end up in the league. If we end up in fourth, we're going to probably get Mauricio Pochettino, which I think is a mistake. Never go back. Never go back. You were
Look ahead.
Look forward. Never go back.
Never give up. Never surrender.
It's worked before, but we can't go back, because what happens if Pochettino comes and he's not successful?
I will eat him alive.
That forever stains his legacy with the club. We don't want to look back and say, this guy was great once. He sucks now, but he was great once. He got us to the point where we were competing and we were a big club, or we were acting like a big club until we weren't. And he got pushed around as a young manager.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I would love for Poch to come back and, for Dad to come back, it's not going to happen. And if it does, I wish him the best, but I think it will fall apart and we'll end up looking badly upon this. But Conte is gone, and I think we need to look forward, and Spurs fans need to stop bitching and complaining about the product on the field, unless it's something that has to do with the players not giving the effort, which we saw in Milan, which we saw in both Milan games, and we saw in Leicester in the Leicester game. Players not giving a shit, but to me, this season it has to do with the coaching. It has to do with the coach, and I think he's lost the locker room. And so now it's up to the players to come out and say, we need to do this. And I think we saw a little bit of that, but we have to continue to look forward and stop bitching about decisions the coach has made. Bitch all you want about Davinson Sanchez for Kulusevski. It doesn't, in the end, it doesn't matter, because this coach is gone. The season is probably over. If we finish top 4, cool. But that's that.
Yep, I'm with you there. And I flash back to Steve's, I think it was last week, Steve, you pulled some data about coaches returning for a second stint. And what did you say? They do like on average 8% less.
Worse, yeah.
Yeah, 8% worse than they did on their first stint. It's yeah. That's all I have to say about that. Gentlemen, I think we're good. This was a fun pod tonight. Look at us.
Indeed.
Right on the hour mark, wrapping things up. Very impressive. We had a good, hey Mike, what you drinking? We had some good takes. We've got some. We need a new graphics department to get us set up with all the cool screenshots that we're looking for.
We
As
do.
as we go away, Steve, what would you say as one final comment to people?
Don't be an asshole.
I like that. And Michael, how about you?
Be safe, everyone.
And
Up the Spurs.
Coys.
that's what I'm talking about.
Perfect.
Still live on YouTube, though.
Oh, all the
Yeah.
kids. This is
Hey,
the behind the
YouTube.
scenes shit that the kids don't get to see, right?
What?
How does this thing actually end?
What are
Well,
these guys
it
really
doesn't.
like?
I know.